Check.
Trees,
Yeah.
if there's an insect that is on that tree, based on the insect's saliva, the tree can tell what kind of insect it is, and then it will release a chemical into the air that would draw the predator of that insect to the tree.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It will also release a chemical in the air to alert the other trees in the area.
Yeah.
And so when that insect goes to the other trees, they've already been alerted and they've
they're ready
changed
to-
the taste of their leaves so that when the insect bites it, it doesn't like it.
That is insane.
This is real science.
Shut up.
Did you know that trees,
Yeah.
if there's an insect that is on that tree,
Play that
based
one
on
more
the
time.
insect's saliva, the tree can tell what kind of insect it is, and then it will release a chemical into the air that would draw the predator of that insect to the tree.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It will also release a chemical in the air to alert the other trees in the area.
Yeah.
And so when that insect goes to the other trees, they've already been alerted and they've
they're ready
changed
to-
the taste of their leaves so that when the insect
Crazy.
bites it, it doesn't like it.
That is insane.
Yeah. So there's a lot about trees, man. Trees is interesting. You know what I mean? Like, look, man, let me see if I could do the big screen. So if you can see, I got a tree tatted on me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna share a story about trees. If you can see the background right now, like it's kind of crazy. I just been experimenting, but let me tell you about trees. I got a story about. Matter of fact, for the story about trees, I'm gonna change my perspective. Yeah, we're gonna do it over here. Check. Yeah, I thought I'd switch it up for this particular story, man. And this is the second time I try to record this. Because the first time I tried to record it, somehow the audio got messed up. I felt like maybe the universe didn't want me to, share whatever, you know what I'm saying? But what I know about trees. So that was an interesting little excerpt on Instagram talking about trees and how the network of trees like communicate with each other and kind of manipulate their taste or they secrete certain liquids or pheromones to get insect's predator that attracts an insect's predator come take the insect. So the game is the game, man. It's interesting because you look at trees on a day-to-day basis, you don't think nothing about them. You know what I mean? You don't really like, ooh, it's a tree, but you don't really understand like the nature or just the network of trees and just how integral or just how sophisticated it is, right? And I'm gonna tell you about an instance when I realized, trees was really like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is crazy. Like, it's gonna sound wild, but it's probably one of the most poignant experiences I've ever had in my life. I shared it with some of my people that know me that's pretty close or whatever. But this particular time, right? And this is why I tell anybody that has a sound mind, a sane mind, should do like, I don't got something, but should do shrooms at least one time in their life. You know what I mean? Do some psilocybin. Because I feel like it takes away a filter of life that kind of blocks us from like having a full sensory experience of the world that we kind of live in. So this particular day, I was living in Brooklyn. I think I was living in Crown Heights at the time. I was working at this particular place, right? I decided to take the day off. And one of the I for some reason I had like some shrooms. Like, mind you, I've microdosed shrooms. I never really did it to the point where, like, people say they have experiences and they seeing things and, this, that, and the third. But leading up to this point, I don't think I ever got to that point. Just more so microdose or what have you. So I had these shrooms. Probably had them for months. Scared to take them, this and the third. But I took the day off. Like, everything just made sense. Like, it was a nice day. I took the day off for work. I said, oh shit, I do got these shrooms. Let me take them and go to the park. So I take these shrooms and I go to the park. I went to Prospect Park, which is like down Eastern Parkway. If y'all know Brooklyn, like I lived off Eastern Parkway. So you just walk down Eastern Parkway, you end up at Prospect Park. So boom, took the shrooms, went to the park. So I'm not knowing how long it take for the shrooms to kick in. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, these joints weak. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel nothing. But it's like as soon as I kind of got to the park, boom, like oh shit, I started to feel them. You know what I'm saying? And then look, like the world started looking like what it looked like behind me. You know what I'm saying? Super vibrant colors. Everything is like like you notice everything vibrating. Like everything that's alive is vibrating. It's like you can see things breathing. Like it's a crazy experience. Like you'll look at a tree or you look at the grass or you look at the ground on your everyday stuff. You going to work, you going to the supermarket, whatever. You just like, oh, okay, that's dirt, or oh, I got to step in the grass to get over here, or whatever, or whoa, there goes a squirrel. On shrooms, it take that filter off. It's not like, oh, that's just a squirrel. These are just everyday occurrence type of things. It's like, oh my gosh, everything is really alive. Like not alive like in a sense you say like, okay, yeah, of course it's alive, but no, like it has like a certain essence. Like everything is made of the same thing. Like we all work in synchronicity together. You know what I mean? And it's just it's a crazy, crazy feeling. So boom, I get hit. Boom, I'm like, oh. I'm in the park walking. I'm like, oh, now everything is like deeper. Like the colors are deeper. Sounds like you hear sounds like mad reverb on. You see like people running around laughing. It's like ha ha ha, like laugh like the echoing and reverb, natural reverb, and just everything's just super bright, poignant, and you see things vibrating. Like, and you start to see the interconnection between the things that you experience in life. So I'm like, oh damn, this is crazy. You know what I mean? I probably did 3 grams or maybe a little more than three. So I'm like, all right, boom. Something told me, like I had a sense to like stop. It told me to stop and sit by this tree. So I'm boom. I stopped, sit by this tree. Big ass tree. Um, as I sit down this tree, you know what I'm saying? Like not even like maybe a minute, 2 minutes after, a group of kids, like little kids, they was like in summer camp. And they were like, you know, because they had all had like the same like summer camp T-shirt, like this purple shirt. And they're like, hey, he's sitting by our tree. That's our tree. Like they was mad adamant about this one. Yo, there are 70,000 trees probably in Prospect Park, probably more, 100,000 trees in Prospect Park. This one particular tree, I got the sense I had to chill, sit down. Now these kids come by me like a group of 11, 12 kids where they came across like, hey, he's sitting at our tree. He's our tree. Ah, ah, ah. And it's messing up my vibe. I'm like, oh shit, like damn, like I didn't know it was that serious. I didn't know we had trees out here. But I guess they had a connection to the tree. I don't know. So boom. So I'm there. I'm just trying to take in all this information. Next thing you know, like the tree, and I swear it's gonna seem like I'm just talking and I sound crazy. I understand, but understand I'm of sound mind. Like if you know me, I'm not all the way. Like I might think all the way out there, but I can bring it back to like ground level. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound crazy. I'm not like a doo person. You know what I'm saying? Up in the clouds. I ain't hotep. I ain't nothing. I just a person that perceives things and I'll just report it. So I feel like the tree started to like I'm like starting to be distracted by other things around me. Like the tree, like you see the leaves like shake, like you know how the wind comes and the branches like shake, but it's like trying to get my attention. Like ha ha ha, like pay attention. I'm about to give you a download. I'm like, what? It's not saying that, but I can feel it. Like I can feel an internal connection to this thing. So boom. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like listening or getting information to download from the tree. So the tree was like, um, you gotta understand, like trees are like the same way kind of like how that video excerpt kind of explained it. Like trees are a whole network. Like it's a network. Like one of the original networks of things. Like all the trees are connected underneath earth. You know what I'm saying? The root section, I mean, the roots are connected. The mycelium network, how information gets passed from tree to tree. And it's kind of exactly the same way that he kind of explained it. Like, you know, the trees pass information to each other underneath the ground, and they're all connected. Like, so the tree is basically saying like they're like the great ancestors. They're the information keepers of this plane of existence or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, they've been here long before people, and they just been around. So they just collect so much information, whether it's underground or like messages that are passed through the wind. It absorbs all these things. You know what I'm saying? It stores it. I don't know where. It's kind of similar to like if you've seen the movie Avatar with the big blue people. They had their hair and they would connect to the tree to get like some sort of knowledge. And then I started to put two and two together. I'm like, oh, that's why they got like the tree of knowledge or the tree of life and all these things, like the branches of government, like all these things starting to hit me. I'm like, oh, like it's like hitting me like, oh, that's the reference because it's the information keeper. Boom. And then what was I saying? Okay, so all the trees are connected. And it was like, okay, that's why society now is modeled after trees. So you look outside, you see your power lines, you might see your Con Ed or, whoever, Georgia Power Company, whoever your electricity provider is, their infrastructure is modeled after trees. You see the long poles with the wiring going from place to place. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a telephone wire, this, and the third, bang, bang. Even nowadays, more so, it's more like 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi router system. And that's more so like the other aspect of the tree network where it's like messages are passed through the air or the wind or the ether, whatever the case may be. I feel like that's like the next rendition of that modeling. So it was saying like that's what's going on in this particular space. And then it was like, okay, boom. So trees are the passers of information. Next thing, when you like your people that you love, your ancestors or family members, friends, they pass on. Eventually, everything kind of goes in the earth. You know what I mean? So like trees are important because they pass the information between this realm, the realm of the living and the realm of the people who transition. Like there's the connectivity. Like when you pass away, all of these plants take root in your remains and stuff like that. And then that's kind of like a certain connection between the two different planes of existence. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind me if we get a little deep. This is just a poignant, experience that I had personally. It's not nothing I looked up. I did not cross-reference with nobody information, bro. It was just I seen that video and then it kind of brought me back to this experience. So yeah, so it's a connection to people's ancestors. Boom. Then it was like, okay, there's certain people that can connect to this universal network. So it's a universal network of energy and information. So there are people that can connect to that. So that's like, people might be able to, maybe naturally be able to dance or to sing or have like these crazy athletic abilities and you can't understand where it kind of comes from. Or even like, some people, who kind of grew up in, dire environments. Maybe your grandmother only had $20, but she can feed 40 people. Like, it's like this magical network of just things happening. It's like a connection. Boom. They're like, it was like, listen, those folks are connected to this network. Cool. But then there's another set of folks who aren't connected. They don't really have that connection, the umbilical cord to this universal network. They can't access this power grid. So it's like, okay, so why do you think they cut trees down? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm trying to do the math in my head. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get why they cut trees down now. So originally, they might say, on one aspect is to cut the connection folks have with, the other planes of existence, like I said, with people's ancestors, and the connection that they have to just the universal power grid. It kind of regulates that. But also, what did we learn in social studies class? Like, why was paper mass? What was the reason for mass deforestation? You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily housing and stuff like, but what else? Okay, you think of Martin Luther and what they say, the Protestant Reformation, where they printed mass amounts of Bibles or whatever the case may be. Boom, Bibles. But more so like people cut down trees for paper, right? For paper, but paper in what sense? Paper in a sense that paper was needed for legal tender. So a lot of the legal documentation, contracts, just rights, um, constitutional things, like all these different things, right? So paper was, trees were cut down in order to make paper, and paper were used as quote unquote information keepers, which is crazy. So it's a derivative of the original purpose of what a tree is. So people cut down trees to store documentation and information. But it was more so propagated by folks who could not connect to this universal grid. And I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. I get it now. So now you look and you fast forward to today's times or just during the times, we're all held underneath like contracts or, you have your deeds or, you have your mortgage. But all these things are paperwork, like they're documentation to keep track of what's going on. And that was propagated by folks who could not connect to the network, the universal network. And it was just like, okay, so this is what's going on in the world. And then I just started to go on a whole cycle of like, all right, damn, I played football. Football was played on the gridiron. I was able to, like, if you know my style of football, I probably explained it already. I'm high impact, like electrical. Like I'm an electrical player. Like, boom, hit somebody, turn their lights out, all that. Reprogram their whole circuit board. And I'm just like, damn, they had me running on the power grid, running around when I could have, when I can like take that harness that same energy and put it towards something else. You know what I mean? But I was put in that system, in that power grid, to diffuse all this electricity that I have. So it's not directed in a way that can be detrimental to the overall power structure. And I'm like, damn, this shit got real deep. Like, it got crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the shrooms brought me into that realm where I started to notice all these things, and the tree was giving me all these downloads. So it was crazy. So eventually, it became a lot. I was like, yo, bump this. I got to dip. So I'm up there trying to leave the park. It's so hard to leave the park, bro. Like, it's too much. Like, I'm getting too much information at one time. It's like distracting. And it's like, I just remember just trying to walk out the park. Just like, come on, make it. Try to take out my phone and look at my phone. I can't look at my phone. If you take shrooms, well, for me, when I take shrooms, I can't do nothing that's too technologically, like, cumbersome. Like, phones, reading the text, send it, that's out. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to get to the edge of the park, and when I'm walking through the park, it felt like somebody was walking my same pace. When you like look in the peripheral and you like, I don't know, why is somebody walking my same? It's New York. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people walk different paces. But I'm feeling like this dude's walking my same pace. I'm looking like, yo, is this dude following me? I felt like I was in the Matrix. I was like bugging out. But this dude's like walking behind me. I'm like, I shook him. Boom, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eventually got away from dude. I felt like I was like in a world and everything else was happening around me, but dude was kind of like in the world trying to infiltrate. It was weird. I don't know. It was a weird kind of situation. I never really like looked into it. I just thought dude was following me. But then I was like, yo, Bubba, I can't walk all the way back home. I'm too fried right now. So I'm like, all right, Bubba, I'm gonna take the train a couple stops and I'm gonna be home. Man, I got into the subway station. I heard that. You ride the subway, you hear the screeching of the wheels on the track and all that. That jump felt like it was in my head. I was like, yo, I can't, like, too much mechanical stuff. Like, I'm too sensitive. I can't, like, be around that. So I'm like, bump it. I gotta just walk home. So I just troop it all the way home. I walk all the way back home, bro. And I called a couple people. I think I called Josh, probably called my cousin, some shit like that. I'm telling him like, yo, I got this information. This is how the world works. This is how the world works. I remember my toilet overflowed just randomly out of nowhere, and I was just bugged out. But yeah, I say that to say, man, like, trees got a lot of information, man. Got a lot of information, and we just bypass it every day because we got work, we got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? People trying to, smash some. People smoking weed. They want to drive fast cars, get homes, I guess move through society in a way that they feel correct, get the education, all the things that we're marketed to. You feel me? But I think it's the small things. Once you start to have like a certain sensitivity to them, you kind of understand how things work. And that whole experience like really shaped kind of like how I view the world in a certain capacity. I don't think there are not too many experiences I had in life that were more poignant. I'm really for the sake of this conversation kind of scaling back on information I got to be real because I don't know if the world ready for it. Maybe later, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was powerful enough for me to get a tree tatted on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than that. But yeah, that's it, man. I was there.